right, item 4.6, discussion of the Oklahoma Water Resources Board funding of municipal water line projects. And Commissioner, I think you were going to take this one and kind of tell us, I know we've had a lot of funding here lately from the Water Board, and you were going to kind of explain that for us, how that works.
Well, we get a lot of questions about where do we come up with all this money, and the Kaw Lake project was an example of we borrowed millions and millions and millions of dollars as we went through that project. And the Water Board is a state organization that was put together. I think it goes back into the 50s and 60s, and they sell bonds. They sell municipal bonds that are guaranteed by whatever the wealth of the state is, and they're sold at very, very competitive rates, and that money then is used to loan to big communities. Oklahoma City, I think, has the most money borrowed right now, but we're pretty close in second place, I believe. But all the towns, big towns and little towns, are all able to borrow money for infrastructure projects, water towers, water lines. And if it's not for that, and they had to go into the regular market to borrow the money, they would be paying a lot more, because the rates are very competitive at the Water Board. And it's a delight to sit there. We meet once a month, and all the people come in usually and make a little bit of a presentation, kind of like we see here, about what they need, but our staff has already vetted them. We know what they need, and it's kind of a ceremonial thing, but it's still nice to see them when they show up. It's usually the city manager and the mayor that shows up and makes the presentation, but it's very rewarding to see them walk out of there with a big smile on their face, knowing that the people in that community are, in some point in time, are going to be better served. They're going to have better sewers. They're going to have better water to drink. So it's a great program. So
yeah, I would just follow up and say, hey, it is a fantastic program, and we have had the opportunity, Aaron and Morali and others, to be in front of OWRB quite a bit in the past probably 8 to 9 years. We've borrowed, Aaron can tell us how many times for Kaw Lake, 5 or 6 times, and we've recently done 2 waterline projects. Some of the items are on there tonight, and we would not be able to do and replace those water lines without the funding source from OWRB. It's probably one of the greatest state agencies that we have, and the funding model where they distribute the money out to the communities allows infrastructure that's very expensive to be replaced. And so we get a wonderful interest rate. This last time, Aaron could tell us what it is, but it's better than what you and I could get going to the bank. And then, Morali, we get the added bonus of forgiveness. So do you guys want to talk briefly, or do you want to talk about the waterline program briefly?
The recent loan forgiveness program is like almost like 25% up to $1 million. So city took benefited twice in a row, like last time when we did the Southern Heights and the Leonard Mitchell Waterline project. When we did, that's a bigger project. We able to do the whole subdivision, couple subdivisions in there, along with several water lines, miles of waterline projects. And so the first program was $4 million, and the second program almost $3.5 million. So each program, like city received almost $1 million forgiveness. Along with the water Kaw Lake project, we even get back in 2007, we did a sewer project. So sanitary sewer treatment plant improvement back that time. So Enid is benefiting like on most projects. So.
Yeah, I think we've done quite a bit. We're going to keep on doing stuff, including tonight. I would say one other thing, that program enables us to be responsive to our citizens. I can remember sitting in here when we had the ladies from Southern Heights in here, and some of you were on the commission, and they talked about the water problems over there. And we had to quickly solve that issue, and I think we did in about 2.5 years or so, we went from what's the solution to the Leona Mitchell water line. A $1.8 million project was part of that first $4 million project. And then I would just say, one of the things we're focused on to get more done is we've got to raise more revenue, or we've got to get more help. And these programs are fantastic. We get to borrow the money at a good interest rate. If we borrow $4 million and we only have to pay back $3 million, that's a really good deal. We have some CPFOs now, but I probably don't even need their analysis to know that's a good deal. Let's do it. So that's on the agenda tonight. I still don't know how it all works, but I appreciate Commissioner Stallings. You were also a board member there, and I know they somehow take money and issue bonds and get money, and then they give it back. And I remember Joe Freeman, who's retired now from the board. I would always thank him after the meeting, but he would always remember, well, you do have to pay it back. So anyway, it's a great program, and we wanted to talk about it a little bit tonight before we get to the items in the consent agenda.
And Commissioner Stallings, you and I go back even farther when we signed the funding for the Kaw Water Project. And Commissioner Norwood, you were on there also. And remember, we were getting advice from that group, and they kept telling us, just wait, it's going to go down another click, it's going to go down another click. Now, you can be a hero or you can go to zero real quick if that interest rate changes. But they were spot on with that, and when they were, I think we locked in, and I'm sure there's multiple levels. Aaron doesn't like me ever giving numbers, but it works out into about 1.89%, under 2% by waiting that amount of time, which was just remarkable. That today would cost us a lot more than that, and that project would be over $600 million instead of $342 million. So our timing was impeccable, and thank you so much, and thanks for what the Water Resources Board does. We could not make this thing work without them, so thank you.
Well, it's a great state agency, and the governor's always been behind it, and the group that started it is. And most states do this at some level, but I think our system works really good.